Hi, YouTubers. Something important. So, I'm in the garage again at my parents' house. Guess what I'll be doing? Smoking nice big ass cigars, the big ass cigar for life. The house of keeping, smoking this Gran Habano cigar, nice big ass cigar, as in the big ass cigar for life. I'm not drinking anything right now. So, anyway, let's get this bad boy fired up. Sorry, cigar's making me salivate. Shoot, sorry. Sorry, it's making me salivate. Kind of windy outside, also. Cigar's a little bit spitty, so yeah, I always wonder about that, why cigars make you salivate. So or smoking in general makes you salivate. So anyway, I'm having a good day right now. So it's a kind of a cold Saturday here in Massachusetts. We say Massachusetts. Be so damn cold here, damn hot here, damn. Yeah, very cold Saturday right now. It's a kind of a chilly day, kind of a chilly, little bit of a windy day. We got a lot of snow yesterday, a hell of a lot of snow yesterday. Yeah, I think we got about 7 or 8 inches yesterday. Yeah, we got a pretty good snowstorm. That's why I came over to my parents' house on Thursday, because a lot of people were like, "Hey, Smoking Essie." Well, not really. I'm just being facetious, you know. A lot of people were like, "Hey, Smoking Essie, like, why the hell did you come over to your parents' house on Thursday? You usually come over to your parents' house on Friday." And the reason I came out to my parents' house on Thursday is because of the snowstorm, because it wasn't safe for my parents to drive. And obviously, I don't drive myself. And speaking of that, speaking of me not driving, no, I'm not actually going to be driving. But speaking of that, I have to, in April, actually renew my state issued ID. So basically, in Massachusetts, we say Massachusetts, be so damn cold here, damn hot here, damn. Essentially, state issued ID is good for, I believe, 5 years. So yeah, with the RMV, or Registry of Motor Vehicles, or DMV, most people call it the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, or Department of Highway Safety, whatever. It's different acronyms in different states. Some states call it the DMV, some states call it the Department of Public Safety, some states call it the RMV, or the Registry of Motor Vehicles, you know, basically where you go to get your license, your fucking license. So in Massachusetts, we call it the RMV, the Registry of Motor Vehicles, even though it's more commonly known as a DMV. So I have to actually go there in April to renew my ID card, because my ID card actually expires in, I believe, April. Yeah, somewhere in April, whatever, because my birthday's in April. So anyway, the freaking point is, essentially, yeah, I have to get a new ID card, which is always a little bit of a hassle. So kind of a pain in the ass, like the big ass cigar. So yeah, so basically, the way it works here in Massachusetts, you know, is you basically apply online, or not. Well, you can apply online, but you fill out a form. Sorry, a little bit brain fart here. You fill out a form online, and then you bring that form with your your birth certificate, your social security card, to the RMV, and basically you pay a fee. I think it's like $25, and then you get a temporary ID card, and then they mail you the actual ID card, which is actually valid. Obviously, you can't use a temporary ID card for purposes of like purchasing alcohol, or purchasing tobacco, or purchasing lottery. You have to use the actual ID card. It usually takes about 5 to 7 business days for them to mail it to you. So Damn, it's smoky. Whew, very smoky. So the wind's kind of blowing the smoke back into the garage. So, yeah, so that's always kind of a pain in the ass to do because I have to obviously get all my papers together, have to, get the form, I have to get the money, and then somebody has to take me to the registry of motor vehicles to do that shit. So, anyway, it's always kind of a pain in the neck to do. Thankfully, it's only every 5 years. So, yeah. I did it back in 2017. I did it back in 2012. And yeah, so I've only done it a couple times because obviously, like I've said before in my videos, I don't drive myself. I don't have a driver's license and I don't currently drive. Now, people might ask, like, I won't get into a big debate about this because I've talked about this before on my channel. People say, hey, Smokey Essie, if you don't drive, if you don't have your driver's license, then how the hell do you get to work? It's like, how the hell do you get to grocery shopping? I mean, how the hell do you buy the big ass cigars? It's like, how the hell do you do this? How the hell do you do that? Because a lot of people wonder, like, like where I live, there's absolutely no public transportation. How the hell do you do that? It's like, and the answer is it's a combination of me being very close to a lot of retail establishments where I live. And also, I'm going to be a little bit careful here because of my privacy, but also it's a lot of people help me. So I have people in my life who help me, who will take me to appointments and take me to grocery shopping and will take me to places. Thankfully, my parents are still alive, and my parents will still take me grocery shopping and will definitely help me. Oh, sorry, car going by. So yeah, if you're wondering, how the hell I do that, it's because I have, people in my life, like my parents. I also have my counselor who takes me grocery shopping because I know I was having a conversation with one of my associates at work. Not gonna say who it is because that's obviously doxing. It's like, but basically, or just revealing person, whatever. So I don't really say people's names on camera because even though it's not really doxing, I mean, doxing is when you reveal personal information for the purpose of harassing people. But even I don't say people's names on camera because one time I actually had somebody file a privacy complaint against my channel. So if you're wondering why I don't say the person's name on the video, it's because it's their privacy. It's because I don't have permission to mention them in the video. Just like I wouldn't say my mother or father's first name in the video because I don't have permission to use their name. And obviously, you always want to get permission, even if you're not planning on doxing the person. It's like doxing is when you harass the person by revealing personal information. But even though it's not doxing, it's still against YouTube's rules to mention a person's name. Like, for example, if I knew somebody named John Doe, hypothetically, and I mentioned John Doe's name, he could actually file a privacy complaint and ask to have the video taken down. So, yeah, that's the bottom line. So if you're wondering why I don't, you might say yourself, Smoking Essie, why the hell don't you mention people's names in the videos? It's because of people's privacy, people's confidentiality. So, so back to what I was saying. So yeah, I was having a conversation with one of my associates at work, one of my coworkers, and he was like, well, if you don't have your driver's license, how are you going to do appointments if you have an appointment outside town? And I said that I have people in my life who are able and willing to take me to those appointments. So I have a counselor or a couple counselors. I also have, and no, I'm not crazy. I mean, just because I have a counselor, a mental health counselor, does not mean I'm crazy. Does not mean I'm cuckoo. It doesn't mean I'm crazy or I belong in a crazy ass place. It's like the big ass cigar. So anyway. So yeah, I have people who, help me out. I have people who take me to appointments. If I had an appointment outside town, like in a different town, different city, I obviously have people who can take me to those appointments, and obviously that kind of crap. So, and obviously my parents are still involved in my life, and my parents are still willing and able to take me to, do shopping, that kind of crap, this kind of shit, So, yeah. So yeah, I don't have to worry as much. That's the reason I don't actually need a license right now. And you might also say to yourself, Smoking Essie, when you go to buy your big ass cigars or you go to buy your, Angry Orchard, Angry Orchard hard cider. Like how do you prove you're at least 21 years old? And the answer is I have a state issued ID. Basically, it's called the Massachusetts Liquor ID card, and basically that proves my date of birth. It's just as valid as a driver's license, and yeah. So you don't act. So contrary to popular belief, you don't actually need a driver's license to buy alcohol or buy tobacco. I'm not glorifying any way, shape, or form, but you don't actually need a driver's license. Now, some places have stricter rules, and as I get older. As I get older, as I get into my 30s, because I'll be 31 in April, less and less places are carding me. Like when I go to buy lottery tickets, like lotto tickets, like scratch-off tickets, I almost never get carded anymore. So I don't think I've been carded for lottery tickets or lotto tickets or like scratch-off tickets, scratch-off cards for, I would say, at least a year. I think it's been over a year since I've been carded for lottery tickets. I think the last time I actually got carded for lottery tickets, like somebody actually asked to see my ID, said like, "Oh, can I see your ID?" I think the last time was actually at Roach Brothers, where I actually work, and the reason where the girl carded me, I'm not going to mention her name, is because the reason she carded me, or she asked if I was at least 18 years old, she said, "And I assume you're at least 18 years old." I think it's because she thought I was a customer, not an employee. And then I said, "Oh yes, I am 30 years old," and I voluntarily showed her my ID, and she looked at my ID and said, "Yeah, you're fine." So she didn't really ask for my ID. She just said, "And I assume you're at least 18 years old." So because you have to be 18 to buy lotto tickets or scratch-off tickets or scratch-off cards or lottery tickets, sorry. So anyway, that's the reason why. So I haven't been carded for lottery tickets or like scratch-off tickets in a damn long time, like a fucking long time. In terms of tobacco, I'm trying to think of the last time I got carded for tobacco. See, the reason I don't get carded a lot also is because I go to the same places and I kind of stick to the same shit. It's like, I kind of go to the same stores over and over again. The typical ass liquor store in town. I go to the same like basic stores. I don't really go to any places like out of town or out of city. It's very, very rare that I go to like a gas station, like a convenience store, like outside of town, or like a brand new tobacco shop. I think the last time I got carded for tobacco was about 2 or 3 months ago. And it was actually at my local 7-Eleven, which most people know what a 7-Eleven is, a 7-Eleven. And basically it was a new employee who was working there. He was a new employee, and basically he didn't know me. And basically I said, "Yeah, can I have a black and mild regular cigarillo?" And then he proceeded to say, how old are you?" I said, "I'm 30, and I showed him my ID. He just glanced at my ID for a few seconds and said, "Yeah, you're fine." So, he's obviously have to be 21 now to buy tobacco products. So that's the last time I got carded for tobacco. The last time I got carded for alcohol, I'm trying to remember the last time I got carded for alcohol. Probably, I would say back in the fall, I got carded for alcohol. I remember telling the story on camera when I went with my counselor. And basically, he told me you can't drink on company time. Basically, you can't drink alcohol on company time. And I said, "Okay, that's fine. I kind of understand that, But the woman, if it was, hypothetically, if it was allowed, car going by, sorry. If hypothetically I was allowed to drink on company time, which I'm obviously not allowed to drink on company time, when I'm with my counselor, the woman actually did ask for my ID, and that was at a restaurant. It was at a restaurant called Pizzeria Uno, which is kind of like a pizza place, nice big ass pizza, like the big ass cigar. And the woman actually did ask for my ID. So, and then my counselor said, "Oh, you're not allowed to drink on company time." I said, "Okay, I understand. I'll just order a Coke, whatever. I'll order like a water, whatever." So, anyway, so that was one time I got carded in the fall for alcohol. Also, I think back when they were doing tasting, like free sampling of tasting of liquor, or like beer, wine, and liquor at the typical ass liquor store in town. Orban went off. Yeah, back when they were doing tasting, and they're not doing tasting right now because of COVID. But back when they were doing tasting at the typical ass liquor store in town, I remember a couple people checking my ID. I remember a guy saying, "Oh yeah, can I see your ID when you have a chance?" And then I remember a woman back in the fall. I think it was like October, November, maybe like more like October. Yeah, more like October. I think I got carded a couple times in October because I think they were being told to be a little bit more careful. But I remember a lot of times I actually went into the typical ass liquor store, typical ass liquor store, and they were doing like free sampling, free tasting of wine, nice big ass wine like the big ass cigar, or like whiskey or like whatever, and they didn't card me. So I just went up to the tasting booth, the tasting table, the fucking table, and they said, they said, "Oh, we're doing some tasting of some wine or some liquor." I said, "Oh yeah, can I have a taste?" Didn't card me. Now, obviously, for the last damn time, obviously, I am 30 years old. I'll be 31 in April. Obviously, I'm a legal age adult. I don't have to show my ID on camera, even though I have my ID in my pocket right now. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, what they're doing is perfectly legal. It's like, but alcohol, I still occasionally get carded for. So, tobacco, here and there, lottery, pretty much non-existent. So, and I don't buy anything like dirty magazines or anything like that, or like porn DVDs, anything like that. So, anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I think I got carded a few times in the fall for alcohol. I also got carded for tobacco, I think once in the fall. I can't really, maybe in like the summer I got carded a couple times for tobacco, and obviously I don't smoke cigarettes myself, so I don't smoke cigarettes, so that's not a problem, obviously, so I don't smoke cigarettes. It's not like every day I have to go in the freaking store and buy my, my daily pack of, cigarettes. It's like, I don't smoke cigarettes. I haven't touched a cigarette in like 10 years. It's like, almost 10 years. Whoo, smoky. Damn it, ash just dropped. So, yeah. I've gotten carded a few times, but like I said before, back to my point about 5 minutes ago, is I'm getting carded less and less. So it's still good every person should have a valid photo ID, whether you drive or not. And then there are some places in Massachusetts, Massachusetts be so damn cold here, damn hot here, damn, that actually everyone shows ID. Actually, I can tell you right now, I got carded more recently for alcohol at Wegmans, the grocery store, because they have a policy, they have a 100% proofing policy that everyone shows ID regardless. Yeah, I actually got carded there. So, yeah, they have a policy that everyone shows ID. So, Wegmans has a policy that everyone shows ID for alcohol, whether you're buying it or whether you're free tasting it prior to COVID. So, anyway. Yeah, so, I'm getting my new ID card in, I believe, April, yeah, so, early April, so, yeah, yeah. So I'll be looking forward to that, and yeah. So, but like I said before, as I'm getting older, as I'm getting older and looking more like an adult, I think it was last weekend, I went into a gas station, and I was actually talking about this on camera because I was actually a little bit surprised that I wasn't as careful, because they had a policy that everyone shows ID. And yeah, I walked to the gas station, and there's a sign that says everyone shows ID for tobacco. We card everybody for tobacco. I asked for a black and mild regular cigarello. He doesn't card me. And I asked for a few scratch ticket, a lottery ticket. He doesn't card me. So, and I was talking to my dad when I got out of the store. He's like, yeah, you're probably looking around that age, Evan. Where it's like you're probably looking around that age where less and less people are going to check your ID, because honestly, it's like, you're getting to that age where less and less people are going to check your ID because you really look like a grown ass man, like the Big Ass Cigar. Obviously, he didn't say ass like the Big Ass Cigar, but it's like you're really looking more and more like an adult. Because I mean, you don't really lose like your kid appearance, like or not kid. I shouldn't say kid, but a more like a teenage appearance or like young adult appearance until you're around 30 or so. Once you hit about 30, your looks start to change less and less, but you start to develop a little bit more like a gray appearance, like more and more like older looking. And I know people are going to say, well, it's because of smoking. Smoking ages your skin. But it's actually not because of that. It's actually for everybody, regardless if you smoke or not. Once you're in your 30s, you start to, in terms of like radical changes in your appearance, it starts to change less and less. But in terms of like your overall appearance remains the same, if that makes sense. But you start to appear like more and more like older looking, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain. So. But yeah, less and less places are checking my ID because honestly, I'm really looking like more like an adult. I mean, even like 5 years ago, like when I first got my apartment, I mean, I got carded a few times at Roach Brothers for lottery tickets. It's like yeah, I think like I got carded 4 times. It's like for lottery tickets. Yeah, like 4 employees there when I was at the the customer service booth. Yeah, 4 employees who didn't realize I was at least 18 years old. They actually checked my ID. It's like I think at Roach Brothers, anyone who looks under 30, they check your ID. So yeah, I mean, I actually got carded 4 times for lottery tickets. Back in 2017. So that is proof that I really do look a lot older compared to even 2017. And 2017 was only 5 years ago. I remember back in 2012 when I first turned 21, my mother's sister, my aunt, took me out to a bar or a restaurant rather called Olive Garden, which is kind of like an Italian restaurant. Obviously not gluten free. Most of it's not gluten free. I wasn't gluten free back then, and went out to the restaurant. I remember sitting at the bar to have a glass of wine, and I just turned 21, and the guy asked for my ID. I actually handed my ID to him. He looked at it and said, "Oh, happy birthday, by the way," because I just turned 21. It was kind of funny ass, like the Big Ass Cigar. So anyway, but 10 years later, less and less people are checking my ID. I won't be surprised in like 10 years when I'm like 41 or like 40 if I hardly ever get carded anymore. The only place I'll probably get carded is places that have like 100% proofing policy, like Wegmans. But I'm kind of glad that stores are careful. They're careful ass like the Big Ass Cigar. They're fucking careful because it's like you don't want to get into that shit. It's like you can get into a lot of shit that way. So anyway, that is about it. So I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys later. Anyway, Big Ass Cigar for Life, pretty fucking cool. Bye.